Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We've got a lot of news for you tonight, but before we get to that, we should take a quick look outside our weather window at the beautiful leftovers of today's light rains. All this across our region. It was good news for the soil and for the forests. It's a nice start to autumn in north central Washington. After those morning rains, most of the area settled into cool and cloudy conditions when we can probably expect to see similar weather conditions throughout the weekend. Dan Kuntz told me there might be a sunbreak on Monday, but he'll have to answer to you on Monday. He'll be along a little bit later on with your full weather outlook. Now, a few of the stories that we are following for you tonight. A newly appointed judge picks up the gavel in Grant County. A bill from 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier could help the Forest Service keep more money to repair wildfire damage. Plus, find out why all local phone dialing is going to 10 digits starting this Sunday. But first, our top story tonight, a school bus collision this afternoon outside East Wenatchee. The wreck occurred when a Wenatchee School District bus was struck by another vehicle shortly after noon in the area of Niles Avenue and Grant Road just east of the city. School District Communications Director Diana Haglund says no one on the bus was injured. It was carrying Pioneer Middle School students en route to a field trip. All of them were quickly transferred to another bus to continue on their way. NCWLIFE has reached out to the Douglas County Sheriff about the crash. We'll bring you any new information as it becomes available. Well, Grant County has a new Superior Court judge. Anna Gigliotti will take the seat on the bench previously held by Judge David Estudillo. Governor Jay Inslee announced Gigliotti's appointment on Thursday. She's currently a Grant County Court Commissioner who hears cases assigned by elected judges and formerly worked as a deputy prosecutor. Estudillo resigned from the Grant County judgeship after President Joe Biden appointed him to the U.S. District Court of Western Washington. Gigliotti will serve out the rest of his elected term. Well, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office has released a surveillance photo of a man they suspect of doing significant damage to a Tesla parked at Bavarian Lodge in Leavenworth. The man reportedly threw several rocks at the Tesla. The Sheriff's Office said the vandalism occurred last Saturday about 4 a.m. Anyone with information on the man is asked to call the Rivercom non-emergency line 663-9911 and ask for Corporal Randy Lake. On the same night as that vandalism, one of Leavenworth's biggest seasonal downtown markets was also burglarized. Village Art in the Park, a nonprofit that hosts Northwest traveling artists and raises money for local art scholarships, says someone entered 3 of its tented booths after midnight on October 16th, made off with prints, stickers, paints, hats, jewelry supplies, a blanket, and a small amount of cash. The entry was caught on grainy security video, as you see here. Anyone with the information on the burglary and theft is also asked to call the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. Well, a bill from Representative Kim Schreier to help forest agencies keep more money for wildfire remediation is making its way through Congress. The bill passed unanimously out of the House Agriculture Committee on Thursday. The 8th District Congresswoman says right now the U.S. Forest Service has money slipping through its hands that could be used to repair damaged wildlands to the tune of about $7.5 million over the last 5 years.
The Forest Service is responsible for overseeing the remediation and restoration of lands damaged by mining activities and human-caused wildfires. And when the negligent actions of companies or individuals result in damages to Forest Service property, officials enter a settlement agreement with the responsible parties to hold them accountable. And the Forest Service then uses the settlement funds to conduct restoration and remediation actions on the affected lands. Now, at the moment, the Forest Service does not have the authority to retain interest on those settlement funds like other federal agencies, such as the Department of the Interior or the EPA. The National Forest Restoration and Remediation Act would allow the Forest Service to retain interest on settlement funds and apply those additional resources to complete necessary restoration work.
Well, coming up next, new COVID-19 cases are on the decline in the local area, but hospitalizations are up. A federal grant will enable new technology for Okanagan County medical outreach, and the State Department of Natural Resources puts together its own humorous video on how to ride out an earthquake. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Different birds enjoy different types of foods, so it's important to offer all the right things for the birds you want to attract. Sound complicated? It doesn't have to be. Our Flying Start Combo is an all-in-one feeder that attracts all the birds in your backyard, with seed, suet, nuts, and fruit. Stop by our store to find out how you can get started feeding the birds. Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Welcome back. Although the rate of new COVID-19 cases in Chelan and Douglas counties remains high, the numbers did show a decline this week. Still, at the same time, hospitalizations from the virus are rising. The Chelan-Douglas Health District said Thursday the rate of new cases is at 608 per 100,000 residents over the past 2 weeks. That's down from 702 new cases reported last week per 100,000. Meanwhile, the number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 at Central Washington Hospital rose sharply. A week ago, there were 33 COVID-19 patients at the hospital, but by this week, the number had grown to 46. 12 of those patients are in intensive care, double the number reported last week. There are currently 23 Chelan County residents hospitalized with the virus, 9 from Douglas County and 10 from Grant County. Well, Family Health Centers of Okanogan County will receive more than $212,000 to purchase laptops, phones, headsets, and take-home monitoring devices. The money comes from a federal grant to expand access to health care in underserved areas. Since its opening in 2014, Family Health Centers has worked with patients living with poverty or other challenges, including migrants experiencing high rates of COVID infections. The new technology is designed to help with remote care and cut down on unnecessary in-person visits. Well, the Great Washington Shakeout was yesterday. That's the statewide earthquake drill designed to help prepare Washingtonians for the inevitable big one. If you missed it, the State Department of Natural Resources put together its own humorous video to show how to weather a quake, with Chief Hazards Geologist Karina Allen in a starring role. Take a look.
Where can I learn more about earthquakes and how to be better prepared?
I'm so glad you asked. If you go to dnr.wa.gov/earthquake, you can find lots of helpful tips and tricks about earthquake hazards in our state, where you live, how to prepare your home for an earthquake, how to build an emergency kit, and all about earthquake hazards and preparedness. So grab a go bag, make a plan, get an out-of-area contact, and be prepared for an earthquake.
Well, thanks so much for the tips. You want to hand out from under there?
Oh, no thanks. I live here. I think I'm just going to take a nap now.
You can view that entire video on the Washington DNR Facebook page. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, Dan Kuntz has your complete local weather forecast. Plus, find out why all local phone dialing is going to 10 digits starting this Sunday. That and much more still to come. Stay with us.
I'm Jared Sessler. Nemo Residio means nobody left behind in Latin. It's heartbreaking to know that in Afghanistan, Americans and our allies were abandoned behind enemy lines. This is a national disgrace like we've never seen before. Today, as your neighbor, and tomorrow in Congress, I will stand firm to ensure this never happens again. Go to jaredsessler.com today to contribute. I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you, you're our lifeline.
Welcome back. Beginning this Sunday, making a phone call or sending a text will change for everyone calling within the 509 area code. It'll mean dialing 509 before the phone number, even for local calls. Dave Tosh, Executive Director of the Wenatchee Senior Activity Center, and Carrie Ramirez, an Assistant Manager with LocalTel, talk about how this came about and the many things it will mean for you.
Next year, July 16th of 2022, they're going to be implementing the new suicide hotline number of 988. There's currently an 800 number of 1-800-273-TALK. When you dial that number, it gets people in contact if they're having a mental crisis or if they're down, if they're feeling depressed, if they're, feeling like they're going to harm themselves. They call this number. Well, a lot of times we have quick 3-digit numbers like 911 or dial before you dig 881. And there's a list of numbers that we currently have for people. And in those numbers, they're now going to have 988. So that's going to be a resource for people to dial because we've run out of all of our 11s. We have 211, which is our number for local community resources. There's 311, which is non-emergent police sort of numbers. Mm-hmm. There's 411 information, 511s for DOT, and then there's, the 811 and 911s. So now we're going to have a 988 number starting on our 8s. So this will be a good resource for people. And the thing is there are 82 different area codes that all have a prefix afterwards of 988. So all of them have to change to 10-digit dialing now. And it started with 10-digit dialing started back in the early 1990s because people were getting to be more metropolis. There's growing population, there's a lot more cities, and because of that, we started running out of numbers and we had to add additional area codes. So when you're in a local area and you're adding additional area codes, you start having to do 10-digit dialing. Mm-hmm. And so now, unfortunately, we're going to have to start doing 10-digit dialing because we have prefixes in our area code of 988 as well.
Well, that means that if you've got a mobile phone, which many people do now, many seniors have them, you need to be careful on your address book. You got to have 10 digits in there. You can't just call your friend by name and use the old number, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of other devices as well. Maybe you can talk a little more about some of that.
Yeah, so your security systems at home, your burglar systems, fire alarms, all of those have numbers programmed into the alarm system. And you'll want to make sure that they're now set for 10-digit dialing and not 7-digit. There's also your business cards, your checkbooks, things like that that you don't think about where you have your number placed that you'll want to go ahead and add your area code again.
And a good Friday. Dan Coons filling in for the handsome and debonair Grant Olson. I'm required to call him that on television. It's in his contract. I really need his agent. Very cloudy, gray day today. It kind of felt more like Hoke William than it did in north central Washington. And if you like today, you're going to love this weekend. Our view from our cross camera looking out towards Rock Island, those heavy, low-hanging clouds prevalent all day today, but we did dry off. Not so dry this weekend. Your arc building forecast is coming up. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the Almanac on this Friday. Only 55 today. That's below normal. Our normal high this time of the year is 59 degrees, 45 for the overnight low. As you can see, the normals at 59 and 39, just a little bit cooler than that. The system that came in overnight Friday it brought in some colder air. Record high of 72 back in 2003 and 27, very cold, back in 1986. We had a little over a quarter of an inch of rain. Sometimes it was coming down pretty hard overnight. Other times, not so much, and that brings our year-to-date to 3.92, and we'll be definitely over 4 inches of rain by the time Grant comes back and sees you again on Monday. Sunrise, 7:30, sunset at 6 o'clock. Pretty simple math, 10.5 hours of daylight. All right, let's take a look at our high temperatures expected for tomorrow. And again, cold air came in with this system, so we're looking at some pretty chilly temperatures, especially to the north of us. We'll start out with Moses Lake out in the basin. You'll check in at 54 on Saturday, 55 in Ephrata, 54 in Quincy. Wenatchee will be at 57 degrees. Look how chilly it's going to be in Lake Wenatchee. They have their own little weather system. It's not going to get much warmer than the mid-40s in Lake Wenatchee. Up in Omak, you'll check in with 55 degrees, 52 in Chelan. Everybody going to be dealing with a lot of clouds this weekend. So what's going on? We don't have that rain shadow that we normally have. Normally the systems come in, it dumps rain in the Cascades, and we don't get so wet. But all of this stuff is coming down from the south and working its way up. So there's not a big mountain ranges to keep these weather systems coming in and paying us a visit. So what's going on? We have a rainmaker coming our way. The big one is coming on Sunday, by the way. So we're done with the rain for the most part today. We'll be dry tonight. Good news if you're heading out to the football game in Kashmir or in Wenatchee. Don't look for any rain. Tomorrow, widespread rain pretty much all day, but nothing big and heavy on Saturday. It's just going to rain off and on intermittently all day on Saturday. Sunday is when the big one comes. Big low pressure system is going to channel right on up, and it's going to bring all this rain, and everybody is going to get rain. For the Wenatchee Valley on Sunday into Sunday night, we could get up to a half an inch of rain, and for us, that is a lot of rain. Now, we're in a drought. We need the rain, and it's coming. Monday, we dry out a little bit. Tuesday, we catch a break, and then another weather system comes in on Wednesday and Thursday to bring us even more rain. So outside of a little bit of a break on Monday and sometimes into Tuesday, we're looking at rain showers prevalent almost all of next week. But again, the big rainmaker is going to be all day Sunday and into Sunday night, maybe a good day to kick back and make a casserole or a chili and watch a little football, because it's not going to be very pleasant for outdoor activities this weekend for Make a Difference Day on Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at quite a bit of rain. Look at all that coming in. Don't see this too often. But again, we don't have the rain shadow effect that we normally have with systems that come in off the Pacific Ocean. It's coming down and coming right back up and going to pay us a visit. All right, so without further ado, let's look at this baby in details. Again, 56 or so today for our high, with most of the rain is now done. There's still some spotty rain showers in some locations. 41 for the overnight low, not very warm at all. The rain tomorrow is going to be light but widespread. No big deluge. It's going to be kind of drizzly all day on Saturday. 42 for the overnight low. We dry out a little bit on Saturday night. Sunday morning, you're going to wake up to rain, and it's going to rain all day Sunday. As I already mentioned, maybe a half an inch of rain by the time the sun goes down on Sunday night. The rain continues with a little bit of a break on Monday. More rain on Tuesday. We'll see the sun again. Boy, won't that be nice come Wednesday. And then another weather maker comes through on Thursday. We haven't seen a long pattern of continuous rain like this in quite some time. At your forecast, still to come, the ever-widening world of sports with the ever-widening Eric Granstrom and more. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
As the sun sets on another hot summer, let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa winterize and close your pool. Closing your swimming pool is the most important service to get right. Letting the professionals from Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa close your pool will ensure that you won't cost yourself thousands of dollars in damage next year. Want to save a little money? Consider dropping the water level yourself and save. Don't wait. Blue Lagoon's pool closing schedule is filling up quickly. Call today.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
My name is Catherine Thomas, and I'm running for the Wenatchee School Board. The school board should work for the parents of this community. I'm running to bring common sense to inform and empower parents, courage to implement positive change that enables academic excellence, commitment to bringing the public back to the public schools, and compassion to know that a student's education can determine their success in life. Vote for Catherine Thomas for the Wenatchee School Board.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Friday to you. It seems all too often the Mariner fans sit back while other teams play in the postseason and watch former Seattle players do well. Such was the case last night for former Mariner Chris Taylor.
And Taylor, way back. Goodbye. Chris Taylor, two-run homer. And the Dodgers are in front in the second inning. 2 Dodger lead. Taylor in the air to center field. That ball's on the barrel. That ball is deep, and she is gone. Chris Taylor, a 2-run home run. 2-2. Uh-oh. That's deep left center. Chris Taylor. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Chris Taylor, the night of his life.
Taylor and the Dodgers stayed alive with a big 11-2 win over Atlanta in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series last night. A.J. Pollock also helped the cause. He had 2 home runs of his own. Game 6 of the American League Championship Series is on right now in Houston, where the Astros lead the Red Sox 3-2. Game 7, if necessary, would be tomorrow night at 5:08. Today's game on FS1 tomorrow would be on Fox if needed. Game 6 of the NLCS tomorrow afternoon at 2:08 in Atlanta. Game 7, if necessary, would be Sunday afternoon at 4:38 on TBS. Well, the Wenatchee Wild lost a heartbreaker in a shootout to Powell River yesterday in the BCHL Showcase. Ben Trombley and Ben Ivey scored goals in the third period to give the Wild a brief lead, but the Kings scored in the final 5 minutes to tie it after a scoreless overtime. They went to a shootout, Powell River posting the win. Wenatchee has a week to prepare for its next game at Salmon Arm next Friday. Seattle Kraken finally get to play at home this season, this weekend. After starting the season on the road for 4 games, Seattle celebrates the opening of Climate Pledge Arena Saturday night against the Vancouver Canucks. Kraken off to a 1-3 start. The Canucks are 2-2. They'll drop the puck 7 o'clock tomorrow night in Seattle. College football weekend begins tonight for the Washington Huskies. Washington travels to Arizona to take on the Wildcats. 7:30 tonight on ESPN2. Washington State Cougars close the chapter on Nick Rolovich and begin anew under Jake Dickert tomorrow at 12:30 in Pullman. Rolovich was fired this week for refusing to get the COVID vaccine, and Dickert was named the interim coach. WSU will host BYU in Pullman tomorrow afternoon on FS1. Eastern Washington is on the red carpet tomorrow at 1 against Weber State. Central Washington has a home game at 6 tomorrow night against Western Oregon. Well, the prep football schedule got underway last night for the Bees. Soap Lake even its record at 3-3 with a 40-14 win over Pateras. Other action for the Bees this weekend. Brewster hosts Orville tonight, while Entiat visits Bridgeport. Manson takes on Lake Roosevelt, and Okanagan plays at Tenaska. Coming up tomorrow, Waterville-Mansfield plays at Liberty Bell at 3 o'clock. Well, a game we're looking forward to tonight here on the NCWLIFE channel features the Cashmere Bulldogs and the Almanac Pioneers. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock in Cashmere, with the Bulldogs ranked 13th in the state's RPI system. Are 4-3 overall. Coach Brian Bremer says it's been a learning year for his team.
Yeah, it's been steep. Just speaking bluntly, we're so young. Last year in this shortened season, graduated 16 seniors and 18 of 22 starters. So a lot of guys playing for the first time. But the cool thing is with young teams is you can see the growth every single day. And it's not even week by week or game by game. It's every single day. How can we get better from a Tuesday to a Wednesday to a Thursday? And that's what's really fun about this group, and they get after it.
Cashmere is coming off a heartbreaking 24-19 loss of the Parable to Cascade last week. It has to turn it around against the 7th-ranked team in the state.
Olmec's very talented. They're always the most physical team in our league, and they come out and they want to punch you in the mouth. But beyond that, they have 4 or 5 pretty special athletes on the edges and at quarterback and at tailback. And it's a group that, unlike us, returns basically everyone from their team last year. And their team, kind of like we are now, struggled a little bit last year in the shortened season, and they're kind of rolling right now. So we have to be ready to play physical smash mouth football, and we have the guys to do that, like Cole Scott and different guys up front that we can do that. It's just whether or not we can do it on a consistent basis.
Cole Scott, a 6'3", 265-pound two-way senior lineman, says Cashmere has had an up-and-down season so far.
Season's been good for me. Our team's faced some adversity, just between losing some games and having some guys out, but we're looking forward to playing tonight, and looking to get after him.
Bulldogs will depend on wide receiver Jack Croce to deliver when it counts tonight against the Pioneers.
For me, I think just like plays off the ball, making sure like I do my part as well as like my teammates do theirs. But if we all would like do our job, we'll be good.
What's it been like to be part of this coach's program over the years? You're just a junior, but what's it been like?
Oh, it's been really good. I've known Brem ever since he came here. I've had him for a baseball coach and a football coach, and I've known our other coaches because it's a small town, you know. Everyone knows everyone, but it's been good. I love the coaches that we have.
I'll be joined by former Cashmere quarterback Pete Phillips on the broadcast tonight, beginning with our pregame at 6:30 right here on the NCWLIFE channel. As far as the rest of the Caribou Trail League, the Cascade Kodiak's on the road in Coupeville over on the west side. Chelan plays at Quincy. Despite stumbling a couple of weeks ago against Moses Lake, Eastmont still has a shot at the playoffs as they travel to Sunnyside tonight. Wildcat coach Michael Don says basically the playoffs start now.
Obviously, the game matters. I mean, we'd be crazy to think it doesn't. We're kind of in the win or the playoff hopes are pretty much gone at this point. We got to keep winning. We got to keep playing well. And our goal is to go 1-0 this week, beat Sunnyside, and take care of business. And, I tell the kids all the time, wins and losses doesn't define us as long as we go play well. That's all I'm worried about. If we play well and they play better, you can accept that.
Sunnyside's coming off its first Big Nine loss last week against Moses Lake, 23-22. They open a brand new stadium tonight at home against Eastmont. Don says his defense will have its hands full.
Getting pressure, not allowing to take long drops. A lot of teams have gotten pressure on them on the long drops, and they've run a lot of quicks. It's a lot of screens, a lot of three-step slants, a lot of hitches. So they have one heck of a running back, and they got two really, really good receivers who make plays, and especially when the ball's in their hand.
Eastmont senior defensive lineman Caleb Garcia says it's important for he and his teammates to listen to the coaching staff and make improvements from week to week and play to play.
Kind of go over some mental reps, go over our position, see if we filled our gaps right, if we went against our blockers right, how we did our hand movements, made tackles. If we didn't, then we get dock points. So that's just kind of how we go about it.
How important is communication for you guys right before the snap of the ball? I mean, offense or defense?
Definitely one of the biggest things. If you don't communicate, play could possibly get messed up, or some player may not know or see something else that another player could see.
Eastmont and Sunnyside kick off tonight at 7 o'clock. The Wenatchee Panthers, meanwhile, host a non-league game tonight in the Apple Bowl against Union. Coach Scott Devereaux says his team is off to a 1-4 start. Time for leadership to show itself.
I can be the control freak and come in the locker room and yell and scream at guys I feel like are not preparing mentally. They're goofing around or wasting time. I can be that guy if you guys want me to, but it should come from the captains first.
One of those senior leaders who's back after missing 4 games with an injured thumb is offensive center and linebacker Trey Jagla. He says, it's good to be back.
It sucks knowing that I could have helped this team. Probably win a few more games than we've, lost. But other than that, it's been inspiring, though, to watch these guys play with heart no matter what. Whatever guys or starters are out throughout the season, there's no quitting these guys. And it's awesome to hop back in with them and hopefully it finish on a good note for these last 4 games.
Wenatchee and Union have an early kickoff, 6 o'clock tonight at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. The rest of the Big Nine schedule is Moses Lake at Davis, while West Valley is hosting Eisenhower. In CWAC play tonight, Sela hosts Rogers of Spokane, Ephrata entertains Grandview, Ellensburg visits Othello, and Prosser travels to East Valley. The Wenatchee Panthers secured a regular Big Nine title in volleyball last night. Congratulations to the Panthers. Wenatchee swept Davis in 3 sets to win the Big Nine and will be able to host the district tournament in a couple of weeks. Rest of the Les Schwab Prep volleyball scoreboard had Eastmont blanking Eisenhower. Sunnyside swept Moses Lake. Ellensburg beat Ephrata. Chelan secured the Caribou Trail League title with a 3-1 win over Cashmere. Brewster swept Cascade. Omak quieted Quincy. Tenaska topped Liberty Bell in quite a battle, 3-2. Okanagan also went 5 sets with Lake Roosevelt to win the Central Washington B League title. Moses Lake Christian beat Cascade Christian in 4 sets. Now coming up tomorrow, Waterville Mansfield plays at Riverside Christian at noon. Quincy hosts Lakeside 9 Mile Falls at 1. Manson will entertain Brewster tomorrow night at 6:30. Prep girls soccer yesterday on the Les Schwab scoreboard. Cashmere blanked Chelan 2-0. Quincy clobbered Omak 4-0. Brewster was also a 4-0 winner over Manson. Tenaska topped Liberty Bell 4-1. Lake Roosevelt edged Pateras 3-2, and Othello topped Ephrata 2-1. Coming up tomorrow on the schedule, Eastmont hosts Eisenhower. Wenatchee travels to Davis. Moses Lake hosts Sunnyside, and Cashmere travels to Clallam Roslyn. All those games get underway at 1 o'clock. Lastly, the Seahawks play their 3rd National League nationally televised game in a row Monday night. Lumen Field, the location. Hawks and New Orleans Saints kick off Monday Night Football at 5:15. Whew, that's sports. Jefferson, back to you.